If you've been looking for a way to improve your landscape photography, then one of the tools that you can add to your collection is a thing called a circular polarising filter. Now, a circular polarising filter is a really handy filter that comes in a range of sizes to fit most lenses, and they have a lot of benefits when it comes to landscape photography. One of which is that they'll add a lot of colour saturation to a scene, they'll reduce atmospheric haze, and they'll also give you that lovely rich deep blue colour to the sky. Now, that increase in contrast that you get between the deep blue sky and the white clouds will really make those clouds pop out. It'll give you that lovely fluffy cotton wool bud look that people really seem to like. Now, polarising filters do have density, so just like your sunglasses, you wouldn't normally use them in lower light situations. So in that respect, they're no replacement for a clear protection filter for your lens. Now, a polarising filter is constructed in two pieces. The front glass element rotates independently of the thread at the rear of the filter, and when we mount this on our lens and we look through our viewfinder, we can rotate the front element until the desired effect is achieved. Now, a point to note with polarising filters is that they're most effective when you use them at 90 degrees to your light source. So if the light is coming in from the side, for instance, then it'll have a dramatic effect. If it's coming in from the front or behind, then you'll find it has a much greatly diminished effect. So that's your polarising filter and how you use it. Like a fisherman's sunglasses, we can use a polarising filter to help us see into the surface of the water. So when you use your polarising filter around water and you're getting a lot of glare off the surface, but you want to actually see into the water to say, see some fish that some kids are feeding, see the leaves that have dropped to the bottom of the pond, for instance, then you rotate your polarising filter on the front of the lens and you'll be able to greatly reduce the amount of reflection coming off the surface of the water. Another application for a polarising filter is, say for instance, a friend had asked you to come round and shoot a photograph of their new vehicle. Now you turn up, it's the middle of the day, it's very bright and there's a lot of glare coming off the paintwork. You take a few shots and you discover that that lovely rich colour has been diminished by the sun. You're actually getting a lot of reflections, it's very washed out and pale looking. Use your polarizer to cut out the reflections off the surface of the paintwork, and all of a sudden you'll see that rich luster come back to the paintwork. It'll also allow you to see into the interior of the car through the windows, so that could be helpful if you're trying to take a few interior shots. The reverse is also true should you be travelling in a car and you want to take some shots out through the windows. Also, say doing a bus tour, or you're visiting a museum and you want to take a photo into a display cabinet, you can remove the reflections from the surface of the glass, which will allow you to see into the display cabinet and take a photo of what it is that you're aiming to do. When trying to photograph old paintings, artwork, sculptures, old photographs, then a polarising filter can be a big asset in the situation. It can help you remove the glare from the surface of those items, which will help restore the colour saturation and the detail that can be lost to that. Now, careful placement of your subject relative to your light source, bearing in mind the 90-degree rule, will help maximise the effectiveness of your polarizer in this situation. So setup is all important here. It's interesting to note that the effects of a polarising filter are very hard to reproduce in post-processing using the likes of Photoshop. So this is a really important one to make the most of while you're out in the field. So that's the circular polarising filter, an essential part of any photographer's kit, and a recommended pick from us here at Photo and Video.